Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the July 10th, 2017 County Commission meeting. I'm going to call on our Sheriff Fuson, to call our meeting to order. If you would, please remain standing for the pledge, led by Commissioner Audrey Tooley, and our invocation by Commissioner Joe Creek.
All rise. Oh yes, this Honorable Board of County Commissioners is now in session pursuant to adjournment. Now may God save this state and this Honorable Board of County Commissioners.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you for your love and your watch care. We thank you for this legislative body and they're willing to serve. We thank you for the leadership that you provided at our mayor and our sheriff's office and these other places. That we're head and shoulders above most counties, and we appreciate the leadership that's been provided. We pray for our citizens of Montgomery County, those that are searching for employment, those that have other things that they need to get accomplished. Just guide and direct them in their endeavors. It says in the Bible in Psalms 107, verse 1, "Give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy shall endure forever." For it's in Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Commissioners, if you would, please register your attendance. Ms. Jackson, would you please read the attendance?
You have 19 present, 2 absent.
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, it's my pleasure to call Mr. Millard House, our new Director of Schools, to the podium. Mr. House, welcome to County Commission meeting and to Montgomery County.
Thank you, Mayor. I really appreciate it. I'm thoroughly humbled to be here and a part of this community. When I walked in the door a little while ago, the mayor actually leaned over to me and said, "Hey, you're responsible for the pledge, you're responsible for the prayer, and you're responsible for the roll call as well. So get ready, son. This is getting ready to go down." So thank you for that introduction, and I appreciate not having to do those things. I bring you greetings. I truly am, as I indicated, humbled to be the new school director for the Clarksville Montgomery County School System. Just a little bit about me, because what I wanted to do is ensure that I had the opportunity to come before this group, to introduce myself and just tell a little bit about who I am. I've had the opportunity to meet county commissioners on the education committee, but I haven't had a chance to meet the rest of the group. Again, my name is Millard House. I bring to you 22 years of education. What I can promise you is that I look forward to working closely. I'm an individual that loves to communicate. I love input and look forward to having a lasting relationship over the course of time. I'm first and foremost a Christian family man. I'm coming to Clarksville 6 strong. So I have 2 children that will be members of this community and a part of this school system as well. I also will be bringing my in-laws as well as a support system. So we're coming 6 strong and really looking forward to being a part of this special community. When this job came available, one of the things that I looked at was the community as a whole. It wasn't just a job that I was looking for. It was a community that I could raise my family in, that I could be an active member in and be a part of. And that's what I found. Today marks my 3rd day on the job, and I'm utterly excited to be in front of you on day 3. What I'd like to do, first of all, is thank the mayor for the opportunity to be here. Also acknowledge Jimmy and Margaret for being here as well. I'm sure you all know them as devoted board members at the school system. But I'd like to take you through just briefly a few minutes of my entry plan, so you'll have an idea of what I'm focusing in on over the course of the first 100 days of my leadership with the school system. First of all, as you see on the screen, I'm a strong believer in an author by the name of Stephen Covey. And Stephen Covey truly believes that you have to have these 7 these habits, which in my opinion, you have to first seek to understand and then be understood. So you're going to see me doing a lot of listening over the course of time. These first 90 days are going to be focused on listening, learning, and leading. This community was here way before me. This community has done some beautiful things in terms of education. And I'm not the kind of person that's going to come in and change everything. B.J. Worthington is a pillar. And one of the first things I hear on a consistent basis is, you have some big shoes to fill. And I understand that and respect that at a high level. BJ, in my opinion, wears a size 14.5, and I only wear a 9.5. But I truly look forward to growing my feet out over the course of time to ensure that I'm an active member of this community and an active member of this education leadership position. My pre-entry transition is fairly simple. I want to meet as many individuals and collect as much information from board members, from community members, from staff members to ensure that my transition is smooth. I've broken my entry plan down, as you can see, into 5 specific areas, and I'll go through these pretty quick, but I do want commissioners to know that I'm leaving a copy of this so that you can reflect back on it, being that I'm moving through it fairly fast. So I have four goals in the plan. As you can see, goal 1 is staff, community, and board relations. 2, effective communications, community engagement. Goal 3, better understanding of the district as a whole. And goal 4, ensuring that as much data is put in front of me as possible, especially when it comes to academic achievement. As I mentioned, in and around goal 1, my board relations and community relations is important. I've probably been to Clarksville maybe 5 or 6 times in the last month, even though today is my 3rd day on the job. And each one of those visits, I've had a chance to sit down with different community members, individual one-on-one with staff members, to do just this, ensure that my entry in terms of relations is a positive one. As you can see, I have some actions in terms of goal 1, scheduling district tours, which I've already done, connecting with board members, establishing regular times in terms of meeting schedules, individual meetings with executive staff, developing and utilizing the appropriate communication protocols. Goal 2, effective communications and community engagement. Actions here are fairly simple and straightforward. Reviewing district safety and crisis plans, scheduling departmental listening tours. I have to hear from not just my executive staff. I have to hear from individuals that are out there, whether it be teachers, community members, so I'm looking forward to getting that feedback. I will say also, each one of those 6 visits that I had to Clarksville before I started, each one of those visits were either started or finished with Dr. B.J. Worthington. He didn't have to do that. It says a whole bunch about who he is and what he's all about, but he is all about the successful continuation of this district, and it was very helpful for me in my jump start. Goal 3 is simple as well, to gain a stronger understanding of the talent and understanding the district as a whole by identifying key team members and responsibilities to assist in the strong transition, gathering feedback from specific stakeholders in order to improve student achievement, reviewing the organizational structures of the district as well, ensuring necessary plans and preparations for successful first days of the week, first days of the school year, which is something that we worked on today, is in place. Continuing again to gather that feedback from stakeholders in order to improve our service delivery for students. And the last goal that I talked about is all about data to ensure that we focus on making certain that each one of our children in Clarksville, Montgomery County is college and career ready, 100% graduation. That's been a goal for quite some time, nothing new that I'm bringing, something that I'm just wanting to continue the focus on and that I look forward to. The goals here are simple: deep dive into that data by subgroups, analyzing the budget, establishing protocols in terms of summative and formative assessments, evaluating district strategies. So all of these things over the course of the next 90 days will be key. I'd like to kind of close here, and this is something that happened prior to me coming. The board has worked extremely hard in Clarksville, Montgomery County to ensure that, that the strategic work is centralized into these 4 categories: improving student achievement, maximizing employee capacity, improving efficiency and effectiveness, engaging the public, support student achievement. These will be the pillars that I will continue to focus on as a new school director. And I truly look forward to getting to know as many people in this community. When people ask me that I know about the Clarksville Montgomery County School District, the best way to describe it is good to great. It's a great book that, that I've used over the course of time that I think a lot of by Jim Collins. And Jim Collins says, good is the enemy of great. I see this district, this community as a great situation. And my goal is not to concentrate on where we are, but it's to concentrate on where we're going. And we want to make it even greater moving forward. Thank you for your time. I look forward to being an active part of this community and making a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. House. Our first item of business is our approval of the June 12th, 2017 minutes. Is there a motion for Commissioner Butts? Is there a second? Commissioner Brockman? Any discussion on our June 12th, 17 minutes? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Next item of business are our zoning resolutions. We have one tonight, CZO-1 2017, resolution amending the text of the zoning resolution of Montgomery County, Tennessee to establish an outdoor shotgun range as a use permitted on review in the AG and AG commercial districts of Montgomery County. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Harper. Second, Commissioner Robert Nichols. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Resolution 1765 has been pulled from the agenda. Our next item is Resolution 1771, resolution of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners authorizing the acceptance of state grant funds from the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Creek, second. Commissioner Tooley, any discussion on 1771? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Resolution 1772, initial resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $32 million general obligation public improvement bonds of Montgomery County, Tennessee. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Gannon, second. Commissioner Jason Hodges, any discussion on 1771? 1772. If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Resolution 1773, resolution authorizing the issuance of general obligation refunding and improvement bonds of Montgomery County, Tennessee in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $64 million in one or more series, making provisions for the issuance, sale, and payment of said bonds, establishing the terms thereof and the disposition of proceeds therefrom, and providing for the levy of taxes for the payment of principal of premium, if any, and interest on the bonds. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Nichols, second. Commissioner Riccone, any discussion on 1773? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. As you'll see on your agenda, Resolution 1774, for us to hear this tonight, it will require a motion to suspend the rules to hear Resolution 1774. Commissioner Sokol, second. Commissioner Butts. Any discussion on the motion to suspend the rules to hear 1774? Commissioner Redd.
What is the vote requirement? Is that a two-thirds vote to suspend the rules?
I think it's simple majority.
That's correct. Simple majority. This is your internal rule. This is your internal rule. Just takes a simple majority to suspend the rule.
Any other questions? Okay, we're now voting to suspend the rules to hear 1774. We have a motion and a second. If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Now the chair will entertain a motion for 1774 resolution to purchase land to establish a training complex for Montgomery County Public Safety Agencies. Motion for approval, Commissioner Sokol, second, Commissioner Vallejos. Any discussion? Commissioner Gannon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. I just want to go over what Jeff Taylor and I talked about earlier today. I asked him what the costs were for the travel, lodge, expenses, and all that. We came up with roughly about $100,000 total. So if that money were to be saved over these years, this land piece of property would pretty much pay for itself in 15-odd years.
Any other discussion? Mr. Taylor? Oh, well, you just lit up. Commissioner Harper?
Thank you, Mayor.
I don't think he wanted to talk.
Had to ask one question. I couldn't make it through a meeting without one. I asked Commissioner Butts at our last meeting how the constituents in his area felt about it, and I wanted to pitch that question back to him again and give him an opportunity to tell us how the people in the area felt about it.
Commissioner Butts?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Over the week, the beginning of the week, I did hear a little bit of opposition towards this. And after talking with these people, and I know the sheriff was out, and he talked to them, and they actually got to hear the facts. That turned the opposition into pretty much nothing. I mean, we've got, I was on the way up here in the elevator and got 3 texts to ask me to vote for this land. You know, I want to do what's right by my people and this public, you know, the public safety. So I will be supporting this. And I ask that my fellow commissioners do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Nichols?
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, there are 2 of us in this room that have spent most of our adult life training to save lives. That's Commissioner Vallejos and myself. Both of us, through the training and training locations, were able to do that and save lives in combat. We don't have that facility here in Montgomery County for our Sheriff's Department, our EMS, or our firefighters. And I think it's prudent for all of us in this room for safety and to save lives to support this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Nichols. Commissioner Vallejos?
Thank you, Mayor. Do we need to make a motion for the $1.9 million for this?
I was going to ask the question because I know there's been some talk about whether or not to buy minus the 45 acres and some buildings. It may not be 45, Sheriff, but I think it's 45.
That's correct. There's 45 additional acres that are off from that. And I think most of the commissioners are aware of how it's made up.
Commissioner Vallejos, you still have the floor.
So I'd like to make a motion for approval of $1.9 million for the purchase of the complex.
For the entire property. Commissioner Albert, you second that? Jeff has that on our bond resolution. Just for the not to exceed amount? Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. I guess, would this be an amendment to this?
It'd be to amend it so it not to exceed 1.9 million.
Okay.
Because that's the way.
Without objection, we'll just have the resolution of 1774, resolution to purchase land to establish a training complex for Montgomery County Public Safety Agencies not to exclude 1.9 million. Without objection from the commission, without going through voting on amending it and all that, I see no objection. Any discussion? Commissioner Redd.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just wondering, the $1.9 million asking price, was that the original price, or did we negotiate some of that down?
That was the original asking price for the piece of property. And there was some discussion about negotiating that, but the seller was not willing to drop his price.
He was pretty firm on that?
He was pretty firm on that, yes.
Okay, thanks.
And I tried, trust me.
All right.
Commissioner Vallejos.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't know how many commissioners went out there. I went out there on Friday, and I was the one who questioned the amount, and I thought it was far out, and then, of course, there were some questions that arose out of it, but it seemed like there was other properties that were not included in the total price, and then, but I think when I went out there, I seen the full picture. I mean, we walked, I thought I was the old infantryman walking the land out there, and I mean, the hangar's massive. There's just so many things out there, and I think many of the commissioners had questions on the maintaining the land. I think we need to make sure that we maintain the land, and we don't add no other cost to it, and the sheriff, as assured, we're not going to add no additional cost to it, but it's going to go further. I mean, I think when you look at all the costs, as Commissioner Gannon talked about, all those other costs will be reduced, and as a board member of the budget committee, we'll make sure of that. We love you, but we'll make sure that cost comes down. And so I just ask my fellow commissioners to please support this.
Commissioner Harper.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm assuming that there's going to be some sort of formal sharing agreement that we'll have between the departments.
I think that would be wise, yes, sir.
Yes, I would greatly encourage that. I think that would be a very beneficial thing.
Commissioner Vallejos.
One more. And I know there's money in Jerry Albert's coffers over there that has not been used, that we can use for anything else. Jerry Albert, I'm sorry, Jerry. We're trying to take Park and Rec money. We'll take your money too. But Jerry over there, emergency management, I know we got some money up there for some stuff, so we can use that money for improvement out there. Am I correct? No, don't point on. I'm talking to you, right? Okay, I want to make sure you don't come back for additional funds. I love you. No money. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, if you would, please register your vote on 1774, purchase land not to exceed 1.9 million. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. We have no unfinished business under our reports. Ms. Jackson, would you like to read your report, and this will acquire approval by the commission?
Comes Kelly A. Jackson, County Clerk, Montgomery County, Tennessee, and presents the County Clerk's report for the month of June 2017. I hereby request that the persons named on the list of new applicants to the office of Notary Public be elected. The oaths of the Judicial Commissioner, Deputy County Officials, and members of the Board of Equalization are approved as taken. This report shall be spread upon the minutes of the Board of County Commissioners. You do not have any names that need to be read into the minutes for bond purposes, and nor do you have any on your list of notaries that have signed by personal surety.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a motion to approve the clerk's report? Commissioner Creek, second, Commissioner Albert. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Under your reports filed, Commissioners, you'll see items 3 through 7 are new since our since our informal meeting. I don't think any of these require any action by the commission. So with that being said, I'll go to our nominating committee. Commissioner Nichols, Chairman. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, this is in a way of a motion. The Airport Authority has James Halford nominated to serve another 5-year term to expire July 2022, and his nomination was also approved by the Airport Authority on the 28th of June 2017. On the Legislative Liaison Committee, Commissioner Wallace Redd is nominated to serve another 2-year term to expire July 2019, and Commissioner Jason Hodges is nominated to serve another 2-year term to expire July 2019. On the Zoning Appeals Board, Mark Riggins is nominated to replace Mike Taylor for a 5-year term to expire July 2022, and that's all of our nominations, Mayor.
And that was in the form of a motion. Is there a second? Commissioner Gannon, any discussion on the nominating committee nominations? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change your vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Under the county mayor nominations, the EMS Commissioner Larry Riccone has been filling an unexpired term, is now eligible to serve his first full 3-year term to expire July 2020. Fire Committee, Commissioner David Harper has been filling an unexpired term, is now eligible to serve his first full 3-year term, expiring July 2020. Judicial Commissioner Darlene Sample, lead commissioner, nominated to serve another 1-year term, expiring July 2018, and Rebecca Adair, nominated to serve another 1-year term, expiring July 2019. Under the Library Board, Commissioner Monroe Gildersleeve has been filling an unexpired term. He's now eligible to serve his first full 3-year term to expire July 2020. Jacqueline Crouch is nominated to serve her second 3-year term, expiring July 2020. Dottie Mann has been filling an unexpired term. She is now eligible to serve her first full 3-year term, expiring July 2020. And Joyce Norris, nominated to replace Condra Smalley for a 3-year term to expire July 2020. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Keene, second. Commissioner Genis, any discussion on the county mayor nominations? If you would, please register your vote. Can you wipe that clean?
Yes.
Can I read my appointments as well and vote on them as well without objection? We have one appointment to Building Codes International Board of Appeals. Steve Jones, nominated to replace Phil Holt for a 5-year term to expire July 2022. So could I get a motion for the county mayor nominations and the county mayor appointments? Commissioner Genius, second. Commissioner Keene, any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 19 yeses, 0 noes, 1 abstention.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioners, the Legislative Liaison Committee will be presenting their agenda this year in September. We just ask again, if you have any suggested items, please email them to our PIO, Michelle Newell, or to Shelley Baggett in the mayor's office. Any further business? I'll call on Sheriff Fuson to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. And before I close the meeting, I just wanted to take a minute just to thank the commission for their approval of that last resolution. I know you may know it now, and later on you're really going to know the impact that this purchase is going to be for public safety in Montgomery County, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank you openly and publicly for that. So, all rise. Oh yes, this Honorable Board of County Commissioners now stands adjourned. Now may God save this state and this Honorable Board of County Commissioners.